Hello guys, I'm Tom, and today we're going to take a look at the feral predator. One of the most lethal, primitive, and fascinating characters in the predator universe is, without a doubt, the feral predator. A hunter who arrived on Earth centuries before Dutch or the soldiers in Central America even knew of its existence. But this being didn't come in peace. It had a clear purpose: to climb the food chain by confronting and eliminating the most dangerous predators on the planet. Its story is a brutal clash between alien strength and human intelligence in the heart of a still wild world. That's why in this video, I'll explain in detail the story and origins of the feral predator. I'll give you a summary of its appearances in different films, then I'll talk about its physical appearance, its personality, and its incredible known abilities and weaknesses. The story of Prey takes place in the year 1719, more than 2 centuries before the events of the original 1987 Predator movie. It transports us to the vast and wild plains of North America at a time when the Comanche Nation lives in harmony with nature, hunting to survive and respecting the delicate balance of the natural world. In the midst of this historical setting, we meet Neru, a young Comanche woman who, despite being underestimated by her tribe because of her gender, dreams of becoming a great hunter, as skilled and respected as her older brother, Tabe. Neru has a sharp mind, a strong survival instinct, and a deep knowledge of the environment around her. From the beginning of the film, we see her practicing with her axe, tracking footprints, and observing unusual patterns in nature. Though her skills are still developing, her determination to overcome the expectations imposed by her culture is undeniable. But her personal journey of growth and defiance is interrupted by the arrival of a threat completely alien to Earth, a savage and primitive predator, known by fans as the feral predator. This creature has been sent from its homeworld as part of an initiation ritual or skill trial that its species uses to measure worthiness as an ultimate hunter. Its mission is clear: arrive on a new world and hunt, climb the food chain, and face the most formidable predators that planet has to offer. Unlike its more modern counterparts, the feral predator has a more archaic appearance. Its armor is made of rudimentary materials. Its technology is simpler, although still far more advanced compared to that of 18th century humans, and its behavior reflects a raw, almost animalistic ferocity. It doesn't act with arrogance, but rather with meticulous attention to its surroundings, carefully studying before attacking. From the moment it arrives in the Great Plains, the predator begins to observe the ecosystem and study the food chain. It starts by killing a snake that was about to devour a mouse, then a wolf chasing a hare, and later it confronts a giant grizzly bear in hand-to-hand combat, demonstrating its brute strength by lifting it off the ground and killing it with ease. Each of these encounters is not random, but part of a logical progression. It's evaluating which species poses the greatest hunting challenge. At first, humans don't seem to be part of that equation until they challenge it. Meanwhile, Neru begins to notice strange signs: animals skinned in unusual ways, footprints that don't belong to any known living creature, a thunder in the sky, the predator's ship entering the atmosphere, and a growing unease she can't explain. Despite her warnings, the tribe and the French hunters present in the area dismiss her, seeing her as just a frightened woman. But Neru, guided by her instincts, starts tracking the alien hunter, unaware that every step she takes brings her closer to her enemy and to her destiny. When the predator finally comes into contact with humans, its lethality is fully revealed. It takes on several Comanche warriors, as well as a group of French trappers who try to capture or kill it using their rudimentary firearms. But none of them are prepared for what they're facing. With tools like a spinning bladed shield, guided darts, a retractable spear, and a biometric mask made from the skull of some alien creature, the feral predator becomes an unstoppable force. It doesn't distinguish between hunters and prey, Anyone who poses a challenge becomes a target. Little by little, Neru begins to understand how the creature operates. She discovers it uses thermal vision, follows aggression patterns, and selects its victims based on the level of threat they represent. She also notices that the predator won't attack if its prey is unarmed, revealing a kind of code of honor. With this information, Neru starts planning how to defeat it, not with strength, but with intelligence. At the climax of the story, Neru makes a decision to stop running. She uses local herbs to cool her body and become invisible to the predator's thermal tracking, sets traps using the forest's resources, and uses her environment as an extension of herself. She lures the predator into a swampy area, weakens it little by little, and finally tricks it into firing its own guided weapons against itself, causing its death. Neru's victory is not just a physical triumph. It's a declaration of power, ingenuity, and bravery. When she returns to her tribe, covered in blood but holding the predator's head as a trophy, she becomes not only a recognized hunter, but a living legend. Her story rewrites what her community believed about women's roles in hunting and marks the beginning of a connection between humans and these deadly space hunters that will continue for centuries to come. The feral predator has a look that clearly distinguishes him from other Yautja seen before. His build is slimmer, but that doesn't make him any less intimidating. In fact, that leanness indicates lethal agility and speed, as if his body were sculpted to move stealthily through wild terrain. Where brute strength isn't what matters most, speed, flexibility, and instinct are. Unlike his bulkier descendants equipped with high-tech weaponry, the feral relies much more on his natural physical abilities. His skin, a grayish-brown tone with a texture similar to dried leather, allows him to blend easily into the earthy and forested landscapes of the Great Plains. His dreadlocks are present, but they look more natural and less decorated, lacking the classic metallic ornaments, which reinforces that primitive, almost tribal image surrounding him. His mask is one of the most striking elements. It's not made of metal, like the ones we're familiar with, but of bone, possibly carved from the skull of some alien creature. Despite its rustic appearance, it still fulfills essential functions, like visual assistance and targeting, but with a much rougher aesthetic, as if taken from an ancient ritual. His weaponry also reflects this older version of the Yautja. He doesn't carry the iconic plasma cannon, but rather a more archaic variant, a dart launcher that uses the traditional laser sight, though instead of firing directed energy, it shoots physical projectiles. His retractable spear is sharp, functional, perfect for close combat, while his spinning shield can be quickly deployed to protect him or slice through enemies with impressive violence. He also uses more rudimentary traps and blades, designed not to crush with technological power, but to hunt strong creatures with precision and cunning. Altogether, his appearance and weaponry evoke that of an ancient warrior, more connected to nature, less reliant on technology, but just as deadly. Despite his brutality, the feral predator does not act like a mindless beast. Like all Yautja, he follows a code of conduct based on honor and proving dominance through the hunt. In his case, that code is rougher, less structured, suggesting that we are seeing an earlier stage in the cultural evolution of his species. He is extremely territorial, and his violence is not gratuitous. It's a response to any threat or attempt at domination, with the intent of establishing himself as the apex predator of the ecosystem he inhabits. In prey, we see him observe before attacking, carefully analyzing each prey, understanding the hierarchy of the environment. Who hunts, who survives, who dominates? Only when he identifies a creature as a true challenge does he decide to confront it. This way of hunting, based on observation and adaptation, makes him a meticulous, almost scientific predator. He does not seek to kill for the sake of killing, nor to collect random trophies. He seeks to overcome trials that demand the best of him, battles that test not only his strength, but also his skill and intelligence. Even when wounded or at a disadvantage, he pushes forward, driven by fierce pride and an unbreakable will. He does not hide from danger. He seeks it, faces it, and conquers it. The feral predator is, in many ways, a reflection of a hunter civilization in its early stages. Wilder, more visceral, but with the foundations of what the Yautja will eventually become. Honorable hunters, feared and respected across the universe. The feral predator is a hunting machine designed to adapt, observe, and eliminate. And while its technology is more rudimentary than that of its descendants, it is no less lethal because of it. One of its most recognizable abilities is active optical camouflage, a system that allows it to become practically invisible, ideal for moving among trees and attacking without being seen. It masters this ability with precision, activating it only when necessary, moving silently, and using the environment to vanish completely. But its true power does not rely solely on technology. Physically, it is an unstoppable beast, with superhuman reflexes that allow it to dodge attacks, block projectiles, and even face a fully grown grizzly bear in hand-to-hand combat and win without the use of firearms. Its strength is overwhelming, capable of lifting bodies with a single hand, breaking bones with ease, and crushing enemies effortlessly. Although it doesn't carry the classic plasma cannon, it does wield a primitive version, a dart-launching system guided by a laser sight. It also uses an extremely sharp retractable spear, a rotating metallic shield that serves both as a defense and a cutting weapon, and a variety of blades, traps, and hunting tools. Its entire arsenal reflects a brutal versatility, designed to adapt to the terrain and the challenges it presents. But beyond brute strength and weaponry, its greatest advantage is its intelligence. It doesn't just track footprints or heat sources. It observes patterns, studies how other species hunt, how they move, how they dominate. It learns from its environment and acts accordingly, becoming a strategist rather than a simple killer. However, despite all its strengths, the feral predator is not invincible. Its lack of body armor leaves it exposed. Unlike other Yautja, who wear alien alloy suits, it goes into battle almost bare, relying on its speed and strength to endure. This may be seen as a sign of bravery, but it is also a tactical weakness, as any well-placed strike can seriously injure it. Furthermore, its weapons, while effective, lack the destructive power of the more modern versions. Its firing system does not shoot energy blasts, but physical projectiles, which require precision and limit its capacity for mass damage. It also underestimates humans, especially indigenous peoples. It considers natural forest predators like bears to be superior threats, and takes too long to realize that a young woman like Neru, even without futuristic weapons, can be a real challenge. This misjudgment leads it to make mistakes, to become overconfident, to expose itself unnecessarily, and what ultimately leads to its downfall is its pride as a hunter. It prefers direct confrontation, rejects retreat, and that makes it vulnerable to smarter strategies. Neru takes advantage of her knowledge of the terrain, deceives him, lures him into a trap, and defeats him not with strength, but with cunning. In this way, the feral predator proves that even the most brutal hunter can fall when it underestimates its prey. And that's everything we know so far about the relentless and enigmatic feral predator, a wild, brutal, and extremely intelligent creature that represents the most primitive and perhaps most dangerous version of the Yautja. Unlike its more technologically advanced descendants, this predator relies more on instinct, brute strength, and an almost animalistic connection to the environment around it. Personally, I find it one of the most fascinating versions of its species, less dependent on technology and far more savage, which makes it even more terrifying. But now I want to know what you think. Had you heard of the feral predator before? Do you think its more primitive hunting style makes it more dangerous than its futuristic counterparts? And if you found yourself face to face with it in a forest, do you think you could survive? Leave your answers in the comments and share your overall opinion about this lethal hunter from the Predator universe. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to share it with other fans of cinema's deadliest creatures and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my new videos.